All right, so let's dive into today's session, Smart Classrooms, Navigating the Digital Education Landscape. So throughout this particular session today, we are going to explore 5 reasons why educators like yourself should be actively using educational technology in their classrooms. And this is to develop those technological skills of our young people as they move into that tech heavy future. The future for them, the jobs that they're going to be employed in, are going to require a really high level of technological awareness so that they can actually participate and be active and informed citizens in society. So today we're going to have a look at some reasons why utilizing EdTech in the classroom is important. And we're going to provide you with some examples of some practical tools that you could use and add to your EdTech toolkit to support these wonderful young people that we teach each and every day. All right, so let's get started with our very first reason why it is important that educators like you and I are actively utilizing EdTech in their classrooms. And that is because it can help with enhancing student engagement. We know that the world has changed, our students have changed, the way that they access and consume information has changed. And we know that they like those quick, sharp videos like TikTok and YouTube shorts and things like that. And they struggle to sustain watching something like a film or maybe reading a sustained text. It's still really important that they're able to do that, but maybe we need to find new ways to enhance our students when it comes to accessing their learning, their content, and material in your classes. So, by transforming your classroom into an engaging learning environment with a variety of interactive tools such as digital games and simulations, can assist you in capturing your students' interests and starting to really foster a love of learning as they develop their range of technology skills that they might be able to use in their future. So, really looking at how we can engage our students with EdTech is our first reason why it's important that we should be utilizing and incorporating educational technology into our classrooms. For example, you can capture your students' attention more effectively than traditional methods by using interactive content, digital books, resources, simulations, games, and interactive presentations. I'm not saying you have to take away any of those traditional methods, but maybe you might have a reading and then you might have a digital activity afterwards. It might be something using a tool like Poll Everywhere, where you ask the students, what is your perspective on this particular reading? So, how can we incorporate technology into our lessons to engage our students and capture their attention? And technology, it actually allows for a more personalized learning experience for most of our students. So you might be able to develop a course, okay? You might be able to develop a workbook or some kind of workflow, and your students can work on this at their own pace. Maybe it's focused on an individualized kind of learning path. Maybe we're using a really specific tool like Google Classroom where we can allocate particular learning activities to particular abilities and particular students. So, technology can actually help really engage our students by ensuring that they are able to access their learning materials in a way that is just right for them. All right, here's a few examples of how we could really engage and enhance that student engagement in our classrooms. So, Kahoot, it's an oldie but a goodie. Interactive quizzes and games. There are so many varieties out there now. Blooket is another one. Quizizz is another one. There are so many wonderful tools out there that allow you to create interactive quizzes and games that you can complete with your students to check their understanding, to build that engagement, to gather feedback and data that can inform your teaching. So, those particular resources are a fantastic place to start if you're looking at how you can engage your students in the classroom. All right, another wonderful one is Nearpod, where we can have an interactive presentation with real time student engagement. Okay, I have used Nearpod in the past, and I have recently used it with one of my senior classes. It was a little bit of a test to see how it would go. And it was really interesting. And I brought along one of my colleagues, my lovely colleague Kerry, came in to have a look at how I could use this tool. And it was also a moment for me to be able to help her and support her with her EdTech journey. It was really interesting. We both identified lots of positives. We identified some things that we could work on, but it was really interesting to see the students engaging in this interactive presentation. So I took what we were going to be doing in class anyway, popped it into Nearpod, included a whole range of interactive activities at various points to engage my students and make sure that they were participating and getting to be part of the learning experience that they were looking and learning. All right, another example is Tinkercad. So creating simulations and 3D design, a really important part of our future moving forward, especially as we have more 3D printers and we're looking at how we can use all of these different ideas in different ways, especially with the growth of AI. So another fantastic way in how we could enhance student engagement using a variety of tools like this. And the last example that we have here is Duolingo. So we can take language learning and we can gamify it. All right. If you have the capacity or you would like to encourage your young people to go and try to learn another language, here is a perfect example of how we can engage them with learning, but also make it interesting by gamifying it. So here we have some really clear examples of how we can enhance student engagement through EdTech to make sure that our young people have the skills that they need to be able to move into that tech heavy future. So there we go. That is our first example of why it's really important that you and I, as teachers, are incorporating educational technology into our lessons on a regular basis.